Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff with everything you have built over the years, everything you relied on, suddenly collapsing behind you. The ground beneath your feet trembles, familiar supports fall away, and you hear, loud and painful, your former life breaking apart. But it is precisely in such a moment that it is important to understand. This is not the end, but the beginning of your transformation. I know this experience from the inside. I remember that heavy, almost nauseating feeling when everything that once seemed certain and stable suddenly turned into fog. I have lived through moments when a single phone call can change an entire destiny, when relationships invested with years suddenly come to an end, when the work of a lifetime collapses, when a diagnosis crosses out any clear vision of the future. In moments like these, it feels as if the whole world has turned against you, as if all doors have vanished and plans have crumbled into dust. But having passed through this, I understood one thing. Chaos is not an enemy. Chaos is a teacher. When the old order collapses and familiar structures disappear, something profound happens. Masks fall away, illusions dissolve, and it becomes clear that many of the and then, in despair, people rush to rebuild everything as it was, believing that this time their castles will stand. They exhaust themselves trying to reclaim the past instead of allowing themselves to move forward. They fight the tide instead of learning how to stay afloat. I am here to tell you something different. The moment of destruction is a unique opportunity, a chance to rebuild yourself anew, but this time with the wisdom that only a storm can give, a chance to create something far stronger than before. The secret of calm in the midst of chaos is not denying what is happening. It is understanding that chaos is life's way of clearing space for the new. Like a forest fire that appears to be pure destruction, but in truth allows seeds that have slept for years to finally break through to the light. Life follows the same laws as nature. For something new to grow, I kept returning endlessly to my decisions, analyzing every step, trying to understand where I had gone wrong, how to restore the former stability, how to rebuild life as it once was. I tried to reconstruct the old picture of the world, not noticing that the very attempt to go backward only intensified my suffering. But gradually, something in my perception began to change. In the silence that comes after exhausting emotions, I saw what I had not noticed before. I had been measuring my worth through external circumstances, through things and roles that were never meant to be permanent. I had built my identity on a temporary foundation that was never designed to last. The destruction of old structures forced me to turn inward, to layers of myself I had not reached for a long time. And there I found not weakness, as I had expected, but inner resources, calm, awareness, depth, that had long been hidden behind the noise of external life. This is exactly what happens when you learn to remain calm in the midst of chaos. You begin to understand that your strength does not come from outside. Your calm does not depend on schedules, plans, stability, or external validation. Your worth is not measured by status, success, or other people's opinions. These realizations do not appear instantly. Imagine the eye of a hurricane, the center where silence reigns despite the fury of the winds outside. This is how inner calm works. You see the storm, you acknowledge it, you feel every emotion, but you do not allow it to fully define your state. Many people confuse calm with emotional suppression, but this is a misconception. Suppressed emotions do not disappear. They simply sink deeper and later return as outbursts, anxiety attacks, or chronic inner tension. True calm is born when you allow emotions to move and flow without trying to stop or ignore them, and then choose how to respond, not from panic, but from clarity. It is important to understand that our brain is evolutionarily wired to perceive uncertainty as a threat. For ancient humans, this was essential for survival. But modern uncertainty rarely represents real danger, even though our body reacts as if a life-threatening event were ahead. When you lose a job, the nervous system activates the ancient fight or flight program. When you go through a breakup, the body reacts as if you were expelled from the tribe, once a matter of life and death. When plans collapse, the brain imagine you are fired. The fact itself is simple and neutral. The job has ended. But the mind instantly starts spinning stories. I failed. I'm not needed. I'll never find another job. I'm heading toward disaster. These stories can feel absolutely real, precisely because they are fueled by emotion. But it is crucial to understand, they are interpretations, not facts. And this is where your power lies. You can choose a different interpretation, one that helps you grow rather than destroys you, one that strengthens you rather than drains your will, one that supports forward movement instead of trapping you in the past. Instead of repeating to yourself, "I'm a failure," you can choose another perspective. "I am being guided towards something more suitable and meaningful." Instead of, "I will never find a new job," you can say, "This is an opportunity to explore new directions and expand my horizons." And instead of, "I am doomed to financial problems," you can choose, "I have enough abilities and flexibility to find new ways to earn, possibly ones I haven't even considered yet." I am not suggesting that you decorate reality or put on a mask of positive thinking when everything inside feels different. That does not work. Such behavior resembles spiritual bypassing, hiding behind. When I was going through the most difficult period I mentioned earlier, I truly noticed for the first time how much energy was being consumed by constantly replaying the worst-case scenarios of the future. My mind generated one dark scenario after another, and I spent so much time in that imagined future that I stopped seeing what was actually happening in the present. Realizing this was both a shock and a liberation. A shock, because I had to admit that a large part of my suffering was created by myself. A liberation, because it meant that if I could create suffering through the power of my imagination, then I could also create calm, clarity, and new possibilities by changing the direction of my thoughts. But changes in thinking do not happen through willpower alone. They require understanding why the mind creates these stories in the first place. Your psyche is primarily focused on keeping you safe. One of the tools it uses is modeling potential threats. When life becomes unpredictable, the mind speeds up, creating dozens of possible scenarios in an attempt to regain a sense of control. But most of these scenarios are rooted in fear rather than clear, balanced assessment. The mind draws conclusions from isolated events, projects past trauma onto the future, and automatically focuses on what could go wrong. It tries to prepare you for danger in advance, even when no real threat exists. This is a natural mechanism, but it does not help you move. If everything were known in advance, there would be no room in your life for surprises, discoveries, or real miracles. Uncertainty is the soil in which creativity is born. It is where new ideas, maturity, breakthroughs, and inner strength emerge. It is precisely in moments of uncertainty that you gain the opportunity to respond differently, to try things you would never dare to attempt in comfort and routine, and to discover qualities within yourself that may remain hidden during stable times. I've noticed that people who navigate life with particular harmony and success share one common trait. They are not afraid of uncertainty. They don't wait for a perfect plan. They don't demand guarantees. Their confidence is built not on control, but on trust in their ability to adapt. This kind of confidence does not appear magically. It is created through experience, through falls and recoveries, mistakes and victories. It is born when you face your fears and realize that most of them are only shadows. It grows stronger when you lose what once seemed essential and discover that you are still yourself, whole, worthy, and alive. Every period of destruction in your life is an invitation to strengthen this inner confidence. A reminder that your worth is not defined by circumstances. That calm is possible even we are used to viewing difficult emotions as a problem that must be eliminated. We were taught that sadness, anger, or fear means something is wrong with us, and that we must return to a normal state as quickly as possible. But emotions are not enemies. They are messengers. They carry important signals about our values, needs, and boundaries. When life breaks down, we may experience many intense emotions at once. Anger at injustice, fear of the future, grief over loss, confusion in the face of the unknown. Each of these emotions has meaning. Anger can point to a misalignment between your values and what is happening, opening the door to greater harmony. Fear helps you recognize what truly matters and set priorities. Sadness allows you to honor what has been lost and process grief so you can move forward. Confusion creates space for new ideas and perspectives. When emotions are treated as messages rather than problems, they move through us more quickly and cleanly. They fulfill their purpose and gradually transform. But resistance and attempts to suppress them cause emotions to get stuck, leading to chronic stress and an inability to respond to life effectively. One practice that transformed my relationship with difficult emotions is breathing. Instead of trying to think my way out of pain, I learned to breathe through it. When anger, fear, or sadness overwhelm me, over time, this practice brings greater clarity and wisdom in how to act. Breathing is a universal tool. It is always available and requires no special conditions or preparation. The more often you practice conscious breathing in calm moments, the easier it becomes to access during crisis. But breathing is only part of the picture. To remain calm in chaos, it is also important to expand your perspective. When you are at the center of events, your view narrows and you see only the problem in front of you. This is where a kind of time travel helps. Imagine yourself 5 years from now, looking back at this moment. This creates a sense of scale and allows you to see the situation more broadly. When I look at difficult moments in my life from the perspective of the future, I become an observer, someone who has already passed through the challenge and can evaluate it from a higher vantage point. I ask myself, what exactly did this experience teach me? What new qualities did it awaken in me? How did it help me become stronger and wiser? I think about the opportunities that emerged because I overcame this difficulty and how it prepared me for even more meaning. To expand my perspective, I use a practice of zooming out. I imagine a camera slowly pulling back. First, I see myself in a room, then in a house, a neighborhood, a city, a country. Then the view expands to the continent, Earth, the solar system, the galaxy, and finally the entire universe. This exercise reminds me that my struggles exist within a vast cosmos that has been evolving for billions of years. My problems remain important, but I begin to feel part of something much greater, and that brings comfort. The universe was created and evolved through countless ages. Stars were born and died. Galaxies collided and merged. Life emerged, adapted, and flourished. And here I am, a conscious being capable of love, creativity, and growth, meeting challenges in my small corner of this immense world. When this perspective takes root, my relationship with problems changes. They don't disappear, but I begin to feel supported by forces far greater than myself. I sense a connection to the intelligence that has guided the evolution of the universe from the very beginning. This leads me to another essential element: trust in life. It is not based on belief in predestination or a cosmic plan, but on confidence in my own ability to fit. So when the ground falls away beneath my feet, I remind myself, this is not the end, but the beginning of a new path. Ruins are not enemies, they are space for growth. Within them lies the power of my true self. By accepting chaos, I open the door to a new life waiting for me. It is in chaos that possibility is born. It is in destruction that the foundation for new creation is hidden. When we stop fearing ruins, we begin to see treasure within them, the unbreakable, radiant strength of our deepest essence. Sparkles, if this text inspired you, please like and subscribe so you don't miss new content. Your support helps create more meaningful and supportive material.